Well, this all comes after a widening of a crackdown in the Chinese semi-autonomous territory of Hong Kong. It was confirmed on Monday by the police force there that they had arrested 8 people for a demonstration that took place at the Chinese University of Hong Kong last month. This was initially about graduation ceremonies going online, but the Hong Kong police reporting that many people at these demonstrations held up banners or sprayed words promoting Hong Kong's independence. And they said that 3 people had been charged with acts of inciting secession under this controversial national security law. This was the law that was passed in June by Beijing to help curb months of political turmoil and anti-government demonstrations. Beijing said that it was necessary to prevent foreign interference in Hong Kong, but many people have accused them of violating the promised autonomy that they gave to that territory. And organisations like Amnesty International have said that these latest arrests at a student demonstration were a blatant attack on human rights, and they have called for those people who have been charged to be immediately released and those charges to be dropped. But this has also generated an international situation, and that escalated on Monday when the Secretary of State for the United States, Mike Pompeo, stated on Twitter that they would be imposing further sanctions against 14 senior Chinese parliamentary officials. They said that this was because they needed to be held accountable for destroying Hong Kong's autonomy. Now, we know that the European Union has also taken a stance in the past on this, and while the Josep Borrell, the foreign policy chief, the EU's high representative, said that they would not be opposing further sanctions on Monday, he did not rule out the possibility that they would consider further sanctions in the future. Well, what has China had to say about the whole situation? Well, speaking after a question about potential US sanctions, a spokesperson for the foreign ministry said that this was an attack by Secretary Pompeo against China's political system, saying that this would only sabotage the relationship between the two countries and was not in either the US's or in China's interests. But Isabel, the situation continues to deteriorate. No end in sight to this political turmoil in Hong Kong, with more people being arrested and more sanctions being imposed on an international level.